guys! Today's video is going to be a book review on the book Eve by Anna Carey. I'm just going to jump right into the review for you guys. Okay, so this book is a dystopian novel. The world is set in the year like 2040, I think. I did the math, something like that. They don't say the exact year. A deadly virus has wiped out most of the population, and all of the orphaned children are gathered up because they don't have any parents. They're gathered up and they're put in these schools. The boys are separated from the girls. There's probably about 200 or so girls, I think the book says, that were gathered up and placed in this school. And they go to school it's just like a normal boarding school. They go to school until they're 18 and they graduate just like a normal student would. The things they learn are basically the same exact things that we would learn in the society that we have right now. They learn to be doctors or teachers or artists or anything of that nature. And once they graduate, they go to this school that is across the lake. They can see the school from their school. They go to the school across the lake, which is the graduate school, which would kind of be like college for us, where they go there for 4 years and they learn about different trades that we would, do in college. And after that, they would move to the city of Sand, which is one of the only cities left in North America, or in the United States area. It was rebuilt and walled off to protect the citizens from the virus. And so it's just this walled-in city where most of the citizens live, after they graduate, and that's where they would go to live and do their trade, and that's how they're rebuilding the country. Okay, so this book starts off. It is the night before graduation, and the main character, her name is Eve, and she is the valedictorian of the school, and she's getting prepared to go do her graduation speech the next day and have graduation. And once they have graduation, they do the ceremonial walk over the bridge to the next school. And so they're all talking and having fun and everything, and Eve notices this girl. Her name is Arden. She's one of the troublemakers at the school, trying to sneak out. And as she's doing this, Arden tells Eve that the graduate school is not what she thinks. She tells her that they're going to be using these girls for breeding in this graduate school. Eve doesn't believe her, but Arden ends up sneaking out. There's guards all around this place, and but Arden ends up sneaking out, and Eve doesn't believe her. And later that night, she starts to think about it, and she tries to swim across to the lake. They're not taught to swim, so that way they don't go across the lake to visit the other school. But she somehow gets across the lake, and she peeks inside the window and sees these girls drugged, bound, and pregnant inside this graduate school. And she realizes that these orphan girls are being used for breeding, and they're not going to be going to the city of Sand, and their life is going to be human breeding machines, basically. That's all their life is going to be consisting of. And so she freaks out, and she escapes with the help of another teacher that's there. And so that's where this book is. She tells her that's what this book is about, basically. The teacher tells her about this sanctuary for orphan girls in I forget where it's at. I think it's in San Francisco or something like that, but they call it Califia. It's the name of this city that is a sanctuary for these girls that the government doesn't know about. And along the way, she finds Arden, and Arden helps her out, and she also meets a boy named Caleb. I didn't say this in the beginning of the book, but or in the beginning of the review, but in this school, these girls are also taught to fear men. They're taught that all men are dangerous, all boys are dangerous. All they want to do is kill you or rape you or use you in some way, and they want to hurt you. Except for the king. The king is the one exception. He's the king of the city of Sand. He's the one, or they say that he's the only good man that's on the planet, basically. So they're taught to fear men. Like, they're really afraid of men. So when she meets Caleb, she's very, you know, cautious and afraid of him, you know, because that's all she's known since she was a little girl. I think she was brought there when she was like 6 years old to this, like, school, and so that's all she's known. That's kind of that's all the book is about, really, is her trying to get to this Califia city, and she has the help of Arden and Caleb, who Caleb and her obviously start to fall for each other, because that's what most young adult books involve, is like a love story. But also, I'm trying to think, I was going to say something else. Also, along the way, she is hunted by the government. Not really sure, we don't really know why at first, but she's hunted by the government. Arden really isn't, but for some reason they just have it out for her. So soldiers are hunting her to try to bring her back to the City of Sand. We find out why pretty far into the book, but I don't really want to tell you guys about that yet. But yeah, that's basically it for like what the book's about. I'm going to get on to my thoughts in the spoiler part of this book, so if you don't want to listen to that, cut out right now. Okay, so I really, really, really loved this book. I read it right after I read the Fallen series, and I wasn't ready to read another book at that point, but this book read so fast, and as soon as I started reading the first chapter, I couldn't put it down. I read it in one night. So I was really, really excited that I got this book. So what happens in this book is she eventually makes it to Califia. The only problem with that is that it's only a city for girls. So Caleb is not allowed in. But she falls in love with Caleb, and she realizes that everything that she has been taught has been wrong, that her teachers lied to her. You know, I mean, they lied to her about the graduate school and, you know, about the breeding. And so she knows everything that they've been telling her is just not correct. And, but yeah, so she falls in love with Caleb, and she makes it there. It's so sad, though, because Caleb, at the end of this book, like, Caleb has to leave, you know. Her and, she's just there by herself. It sucks. Like, I was so sad that Caleb had to leave at the end of this book. Yeah, I really, 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 really liked this book. It was a really fast-paced book. I think it's like, I don't know, like 200 pages or so, which is half the books, like half the size of the Fallen books that I was reading. So it just read really, really fast. And the storyline is, I think it's a really great storyline. It's not really like the Hunger Games types of books, but it's similar, I guess. But yeah, I guess that's my thoughts on the book. I will be doing the second book in this series once. That will be coming in a few days. So if you want to check that out, subscribe. Yeah, I guess that's it. See you guys in my next video. Bye. Totally forgot that I wanted to tell you guys something else about Eve's character. I really, really like her character in this book, just because even though it is a love story, she's not like the typical, like I like the Twilight books, but Bella is just like, you know, most people know that she's just like this, not ditzy, but what's the word? I can't think of it. She just needs a man in her life. Like, she can't support herself. She's not a strong character. She's just like this wimpy character. Eve, even though she falls in love, there's a love story in this book, she's a really, really strong character. Just because I think that she was taught to hate men her whole life, she doesn't really rely on Caleb, and she kind of just relies on herself throughout this book, you know, and she ends up kind of saving Caleb a lot of the time and helping him out more than he helps her. I mean, he does help her, but like, she kind of helps him as well in this book. I mean, she does need a lot of help getting to Califia, and that's kind of where Arden comes in. Arden they end up becoming best friends, kind of, and they weren't really friends in the beginning of this book. They kind of hated each other. But Arden is like the self-sufficient one, and she really, really helps Eve, but Eve doesn't really like lean on her. She is a really strong character, so I was really happy about that, because, you know, it's kind of getting old that every single girl in like a lot of young adult books is just head over heels in love with a guy, and like all they can think about is the guy, you know, and in this one she actually can hold her own. So that was a really, really nice thing about this book. Yeah, I guess that's it. Sorry. I guess I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.